Okay. Hello, everybody. Looks like we're here. And if you are on Facebook or YouTube, I am Mary Grace. Please say something in the chat. Okay, I think we got the chat back. Okay, that was crazy. I couldn't see anything. I just had to log out and log back in. So, welcome, everybody. If you're on Periscope, you're coming to my backup account. So I was suspended on the 8th of January from my main account. I'm Mary Grace. And so I don't know how long I'll be back on Periscope. We'll see. I I did request a review of the suspension. So we'll see what happens. Just pray for me because I had 37,000 followers on Twitter. I don't know how many got taken out. But if you're on Twitter, it's Real Mary Grace 1. That's my backup account. And then if you are on Periscope, it's Real Mary Grace. Everything else, it's Mary Grace Media. So you can just search there. So thank you for being here. I'm Mary Grace. It's Mary Grace Media, and I'm here. And I was going to broadcast on Tuesday, and I just got stuck in pre-production. I had a big event for a client that I have in real life in my town, and so we just had a lot going on, and so it was just a lot. And I apologize for that. I didn't even get home until after 5, closer to 6. So I'm back, and I am coming to you live from Virginia, and I'm Mary Grace. So make sure you share this. Please, if you're on Facebook, share this into groups. And if you're on Twitter, if you're on YouTube, make sure you're following, make sure you're subscribed, make sure you don't miss a show because I'm here to kind of break it down for you. How's the sound? How's the picture? Can everybody see me okay? I I'm working on my studio here. I'm not a decorator, so I'm working on this. We're going to work on Project Mary Grace Studio, decorating that. I am going to be working on that at some point. I've just been so busy. That's the other thing. And now I actually I can't really do any heavy lifting right now because I had a procedure done in my wrist, and so I can't really lift heavy things. I'm very excited though. If the sound is low for you, it's your device. So turn up the volume or get headset or use a headset. Go out and come back in. I can't adjust sound for every individual because I would be doing that for the whole show. But I wanted to tell you guys what happened. I had for the longest time I had problems with my right wrist, and some of you may know that I do competitive stand-up paddling, and it made my life really hard. It also made it hard when I played piano. So it turns out I had when I saw the doctor about 5 years ago, the orthopedist told me that there was like a bone that was out of place, which I think is strange. And he said the only solution would either be cortisone or a surgery. I was like, none of those sounds really good. And I did get a shot of cortisone because it was really painful. And the thing about cortisone, I don't know if you know this, is that it breaks down the tissue over time. That's why you're only allowed to get 4 cortisone shots in one area, period. And so, yeah, you really should avoid them. And then, but that's all they knew. That's all they had years ago. And so the most recent thing that has come about is something called hyaluronic acid, which is also in face cream and stuff like that. Um, and so that was like the most recent. But then since then, uh, doctors have actually been using regenerative techniques. Uh, such as stem cells and PRP, which is platelet rich plasma. And so I had a stem cell injection in my hand. And I'm very excited about it. And so before you go crazy and think that I'm getting stem cells from aborted babies, relax, because I'm not. So there's different kinds of stem cells. And oh, I see the usual people are back on Periscope here, blocking people left and right. Yeah, so there's stem cells that come from actually the umbilical cord of a healthy baby. And they're very it's very hard to harvest them because you want to get them right as soon as the baby is born. So it's kind of expensive. But my client does this procedure. And so so I had the procedure done. And then I'm also going to get some PRP in there. That's where they take your own blood and they centrifuge it down. So if you're pretty healthy, like especially if you're young, parents, if you have kids who get injured, um, before you consider surgery or anything like that, ask about PRP therapy. And if your regular doctor won't do it, you need a regenerative medicine specialist or a holistic doctor, because the younger you are and the healthier you are, the more viable your blood is. And so the platelet rich plasma, once you like, they take your own blood out and then they centrifuge it and they get the plasma and they re-inject it. That's what a lot of athletes do, by the way. So and it's legal to do that. But if you have kids who are injured, look into those procedures before you consider surgery. And then if you're a little bit older, sometimes you need to do a combination. But all that to say, I was talking about rearranging my studio here, and I have to be careful about lifting because I just got this procedure in my hand. The great thing is it's just an injection, so there's no cutting or anything, and it's a pretty short recovery time. But you do have to be careful about lifting. So I don't know why I'm telling you that, but I'm excited. I'm excited because it already feels better, and it's pretty exciting. And so I'll keep you guys posted. And I was thinking about this because the whole idea with stem cell therapy is that it's regenerative. It's a regenerative treatment, and the idea is that your body, if you put the right things into your body knows what to do. And so when you put these cells into the body, the cells actually recreate the cell that they're supposed to recreate. It's amazing. And I was thinking about our superfoods, because the more I learn about what we have, the more I realize that our superfoods are actually regenerative, that it helps your body to actually uh, recreate the level of health that it was designed for. I know it's amazing because the superfoods are like it's a living food. And it's kind of mind-blowing. Um and my client, I can tell you right now that it does work on arthritis. I can send you some information. Um this doctor, he actually works with patients. He works with a lot of golfers in the PGA Tour. He travels around and works with them. He also works with college athletes. But what I was going to say, Anne, is if you actually, it might be worth it to come here and get treatment from him because it's life changing. Just to see, you'd have to talk to him and see if you're a candidate for the treatment. But he's so busy because it works, and people don't end up not getting joint replacements because it's so effective. Okay, now let me get to the topics that I wanted to talk to you today. So just and you can text me, I can tell you more about it. So listen, guys. I've been talking about this for months now, it seems. but I want you to be, I want to make some things very clear. The other day when I was talking, somebody put in the chat that the president went to Switzerland, that he made a surprise visit to Switzerland. And one of the things that I've been telling you to do is to really use discernment and to be very careful about news that's coming up. And one of those things is that people keep posting videos and information and making it look like it's recent. And I told you that you got to be careful about that because the president went to Switzerland last year. He went to Davos last year to the World Economic Forum. That's when he told them that we weren't going to be spending money on their stupid things anymore and we weren't going to be taken to the cleaners. And he flew in the helicopter, and it was just this badass arrival. It was amazing. But guys, he didn't go to Switzerland on Marine One this week or last week. So just be really careful about that. So last night I was watching my favorite live stream with all of the with the people that do the comments in the live chat. And one of the things that they talked about was exactly that. And there are a couple of things that they addressed, and they actually posted. And if you go to my, let me find my channel. I shared this stuff in my channel. I'm on Telegram. So it's so hard to find channels on Telegram. So what I was going to say is they actually the George Telegram channel posted dozens and dozens of pictures of the president's trip to Davos last year. And they said this is from 2020. And they made a point of saying that those videos that are circulating and all the news that's circulating about the president going to Davos were from last year. And then the other thing that they said, which is really significant and which I want you to understand, is that there are people, and I've been telling you this, and I really want you to, if you take nothing away from today, if you take no other tidbit from today, please understand that there are people on the internet who are jumping in to fill the void that has been left by our president. People want him to talk to them all the time because that's what he was doing. And now there are people who are coming out of the woodwork to fill in the gaps and to fill the void, because the intelligence insider that a lot of people had been going to try to get information, that hasn't, they haven't posted anything. There haven't been any drops or anything like that. And I told you that I really felt like this was a time for people to get close to God, to listen, and to really just to refresh and to renew your mind, not to go chasing after every single little news story or intel drop that somebody could come up with out of the blue. Okay, and so this is important. And last night when I was watching the live stream, and they were telling us, they spent the first, I don't know, half of the video saying exactly that. They said, please watch who you follow. They said, please watch who you follow. They said, don't ask us to name names or channels. Make sure you can discern. We are sure you can discern for yourself. But ask yourself these questions. Why are they mentioning dates? And this is something important. People have been giving you dates. A lot of people were saying that today was the real inauguration day. And now we know that there's a potential for a false flag because the media is going insane and trying to set up a scenario where domestic terrorists are creating an incident, and they're setting it up to where it looks like they need extra security in Washington, D.C., and they're blaming it all on people like you and me. And so the problem is the problem is that the people who are putting out this kind of disinformation, they know that people are hungry for information, and so they're out there tickling your ears. They're out there trying to to give you what you want to hear, and they're leading you down the garden path. And the other reason that they're doing it, the other reason that they're doing it is that they are trying to set up a scenario. They're trying to set up a scenario in which uh, we are made to look wackadoodle and insane and violent. And so when you buy into that, when you buy into this, um, you're actually just playing right into their hands, and you're allowing them to create a narrative, and you're also allowing them to create excuses for more authoritarianism, for more drastic measures to contain the crazy. This is really serious. You're being played for fools, and you're going to be a patsy when you buy into this stuff and run around talking about this stuff and acting like this is real. To answer your question, Charles White, on YouTube, you want to stay far away from that individual. He's not right. Okay, I'm not even going to mention his name. So, okay, so this, going back to this, why are they mentioning dates? This is our friend in the live chat. Why are they always changing the dates? Do they mention a high level insider source? I've talked to you about this before. All right. Talked to you about this before. What stories are they telling you in order to try and prove they are legitimately giving you good intel? What does your gut tell you? So the reason that I am telling you to follow this channel is because they're very much in alignment with uh, they're very much in alignment with what I've been telling you. I've been at this for a long time, you guys, and I have, and Millie also, Millie the Millinator on YouTube here. We've been in the trenches here for a long time, and so we can smell the fake a mile away, can't we, Millie? We can smell it a mile away, and these people they're preying on your need for some validation and um, for peace, I guess is a way to say it. Now, some of the people that are broadcasting, I don't, I'm not going to discredit them, because here's the thing: some of them are giving you truth. They're telling you the truth. Some of them are telling you data and intel based on what they are being given to the best of their knowledge. It doesn't mean that they're bad people if they miss the mark. But you just need to really pray for discernment. And one of the things that God is really doing right now is allowing people to get to the place where they really have to start to think for themselves, and where they really have to start to dig deep to hear his voice and to hear Holy Spirit and to know how to discern these things, because it's not easy to do, but you can do it. And some of it takes practice. I've given wrong information before. But one thing that I won't do to you is I won't tell you a specific date just to keep you stringing you along so that you'll keep coming back. I've made it very clear that I know 100% for certain that Trump is our president and that he's coming back before 2024. He's not running in 2024. but I don't know when. I don't know exactly how it's going to play it out. I've been very clear about that. Um, Charles on YouTube, your instinct about that person is 100% spot on. Okay, so let me go back to the comments from this live stream last night. Comms and decoding is good and does exist, yet what we are saying is sometimes a post is just a post. Put it this way, actively watch Mike and Dan's posts. So now they're referring to the fact that a lot of people are constantly trying to make something out of something that's not there. Sometimes there's no there. When when Mike Pompeo or Mike Flynn or Dan Scavino posts something, a lot of it has significance, and some of the anons are decoding some things. It's very interesting. But some people are just going completely out on a limb. They're trying to pull decodes out of thin air. And so just be very cautious about that. One of the things that I've been telling you, and I really want to be very clear about this, is that I believe that A, when it happens, you'll know, but B, when some of the things in the background happen, you won't know. And that's by design. And I believe that you won't know ahead of time because what's happening is a very highly sophisticated military operation. And so if people are telling you ahead of time and they're giving you dates and they're saying my source is telling me uh, my source is telling me, this specific thing, um, I, I would be very careful about that because we were told from the very start that the people who are in the know, who are read in to the plans that are going on, are less than 10. And so if you're following people all around the country, all around the world who say they have a source and they have a source and they have a source and they have a source, that's way more than 10. So just logically, you can deduce that they're probably pulling your leg. Does that make sense? Trauma Mama, uh, that's not where we get our stem cells, but I can talk more about that later. Okay, so yeah, so I'm not going to comment right now on specific broadcasters. Actually, I will I will comment on a couple. I trust Praying Medic. Um, I like X22 report. I don't necessarily always agree with everything he says, um, but he's pretty open in, he's not. I don't think he's manipulating you to try to give you a date on something. So that's just something to think about. Okay. All right. And so, and I don't think Scott McKay is doing that either. I mean, sometimes, sometimes they'll tell you, okay, this is what I heard. They're just passing on information that they heard. But you can't, you just have to understand that some of that, there's a lot of disinformation out there. Okay. So let me just keep reading here. It says, when we post original images and private email screenshots, it's only to show new people to our channel that we are who we say we are, nothing more, nothing less. Then they said, our duty and loyalty is and always has been to 45, President Trump. Okay. And then they said Mike equals both. So they're talking about Pompeo and General Flynn, Kansas and Captain America. So I think they call General Flynn Captain America. Okay. So, and there's a lot of broadcasters out there. So, just because I'm not mentioning them doesn't mean that I'm dismissing them. Okay. So, there's a couple more things that happened. They mention a blue box and a key, which I think is interesting. So, hold on. I just want to Okay, so here's the clincher. So I do want to encourage everybody to go to Telegram and follow George News. It's the official blue check channel on Telegram. George News is the blue check account, and that is, I'm following them. Okay, I trust that account, and the pictures that they're putting up are official photos, and they're very clear to you about where those photos are from and when they were taken. That's really important to get. People are posting photos and videos all over the place with no reference to where they're from and what time frame. So be careful about that. And speaking of videos, by the way, if anybody sends me something to download or they send me a link to click and it's not identified, I'm not going to do that. I'm never going to download a video that you send me uh, unless I know you personally. So it's not personal, but I have to protect my computer, my phone, etc. So this is what George is telling us, okay? We have never mentioned dates or times, nor have we made any of the claims others have been making. Yet our posts are sometimes moderated before we put out. But like we said before, we're here for the long haul. So we support and serve one man and team and God, of course. And then they said, okay. Oh, no, this is interesting. They're telling you, they're sort of educating you about some stuff, about just the nuts and bolts, about how um, just how these social media platforms work and what to be careful for. And I've been giving you some of that information as well. But one of the things, and all of these screenshots that I'm reading are in my Telegram chat. They're pinned in my Telegram chat. And so they said, this is interesting. So they said, P.S. on Telegram, nearly all messages that begin with, please consider following, and then the name of a famous person like Dan Scavino or General Flynn, are sent by bots run by these fake channels. For example, Scavino is not on Telegram. And I've told you this before, there are so many people putting up channels, fake channels. And he was saying that if somebody is verified on Twitter with a blue check and they show up on Telegram and they're not verified within about a month, you can guarantee that it's a fake account. People ask me all the time, is this real? But I want to get to something about what they're saying in the beginning of this broadcast, because this is interesting. So they, and this is a subtlety that I think a lot of people missed, and that is this. They started the broadcast, and I'm talking about the chat. So they're giving people information in the chat. The broadcast was actually last night, it was videos of the inauguration of President Trump in 2017. It's pretty cool. And it was a real inauguration. It was really neat. But so the Lin Wood is legit. Okay, let me back up for a second. So I knew people were going to ask about Lin Wood. The Lin Wood account is legit. The only reason it's not verified is because he was never verified on Twitter because he was kicked off of Twitter. But he has actually appeared on interviews telling people specifically that that was his account. That's how we know that's how it's been verified. But that's a good question. So unless you see the person specifically on video saying this is my Telegram account, which is what I do, Mary Grace Media Official, not everybody has the benefit of starting out with a blue check on another platform. Okay, so let me go back to what I was saying. So the subtlety of what happened last night in this chat, where they were saying, that that nobody gives times and dates, or that that anybody who's giving times or dates is leading you astray. This is something that a lot of people may not have picked up on. The fact that they are telling you to be careful about following anybody who's giving you times and dates tells me that there is a time and a date coming, but that they're not going to tell you, that the official channels are not going to tell you. Are you tracking with me? Because if there were no time and date of anything happening, why would they bother to tell you to be careful about following channels that are giving you specific times and dates? I myself find that extremely encouraging because they're trying to protect you from being set up for disappointment about something that is coming, but that will not be broadcast ahead of time. So I just found that to be incredibly encouraging. So let me see what else they said. There were some really good things they said a little bit later. Where can we send mail to you? Do you have a P.O. box? I do, yeah. Send me an email and I'll give you that information. My email is info@marygracemedia.com. Okay, so so then they say truth and justice will prevail. And they say, okay, this is really interesting because they were showing a video of President Trump's 2017 inauguration ceremony. And somebody asked, is this live? And this is the answer, which I thought was very interesting. They said, is this live? Only if we're streaming from the past through to 2021 using secret Tesla tech. Isn't that interesting? Tommy on Facebook. So something is going to happen. We just don't know when exactly. Yeah. And so I just thought that was very interesting. And then 5 flags. All right. So here's a question that they asked. Very interesting. How does DJT, that's Donald John Trump, sign his name on official press releases at the moment? And then in parentheses, it's just a question. How does he sign his name when he does those press releases, when he's endorsing a candidate? Have you noticed that? Who can tell me? I know, Millie, wasn't that funny when he said that about the Tesla tech? And then he says, you want good news? God loves you and he'll never forsake you. So that's good news. It's great news. Okay, listen to this. So going back to the question, how does DJT sign his name on all of those things? He says, I officially endorse so-and-so. But how does he sign it? President Donald J. Trump. Yeah. So here's something interesting. He said, fact, President Trump received more fan mail and gifts at the White House over the last 4 years than Hussein did in 8. They call him Hussein. Who else called him Hussein? Interesting, isn't it? Okay. For those of you who are wondering, the channel that I'm following is George News on YouTube. So they're doing these live streams, and they open the chat, and they talk to us in the chat. Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, I call him Hussein, but that's because somebody else did that, and I'm following their example. So we'll see. And then he says, WGA worldwide. What does WGA stand for? I think it stands for We Go All. I think. Okay. And then they go on in the chat and they say, okay, they go on and they say, when he says the best is yet to come and our best days are still ahead of us, they are promises, not just empty campaign slogans. I love this chat. I stay up late listening to it. So to wrap, okay, so this is going back to what they were saying. Please watch who you follow and use your gut feelings and discernment. And then they say mogul. That's the Secret Service name for President Trump. Mogul worked for free and 18 hours a day for us. Do you think it's any less now? No. And then he says, have a good night, everybody. We love you. We are with you always. Promises made, promises kept. And then it says TBIYTC. The best is yet to come. It was really good. Yeah. So I'm just very encouraged by that. And so if you're following my YouTube channel, I mean, if you're following my Telegram channel, I will always post links to this live chat on my Telegram channel, Mary Grace Media Official. One thing you need to know about the George Telegram is that George puts things up and then sometimes deletes them, especially location pins. They'll leave a location pin up for 20, 30, 45 seconds, and then they'll take it down. And so, it's a good idea to screenshot whatever they put into their chat because it may not be there. And if you want to save pictures or videos from Telegram, if you press and hold on the picture, it will give you an option to save all those. And so there's cool ways that you can do that. So, but I found it very encouraging, and so I would say, please keep following. Just pay attention and be mindful of who you're following and what intel you're latching onto. Will I comment on the released transcripts from Lynn Wood, Vicky on YouTube? So I started looking at them, and I didn't get very far, but I'm just wondering, are those transcripts the same as from the videos that he put up? I think it was from the videos that he put up about Rod Rosenstein, and the Dirty Tricks Club. I think it was the same thing. So it felt like it was, so I didn't read them because I already listened to those videos. I feel there are too many platforms now to deal with too many channels. It almost makes for too much work and makes me think people just give up. Well, if you think about it that way, they will give up, but we have to persist. People are on different channels because they keep getting deleted and banned and censored on other channels. So, we're casting a wide net on all of these channels so that we can get the message out. Because, the censorship is so bad, it's to such a degree that we have to go where we can to get the message out. I mean, I was literally thinking last night, I wish I had one of those mimeograph machines that we had in school. Do you remember that when the teacher would send you to the workroom to get the mimeographs? Do you remember the mimeograph? And you get to go to the workroom with the teacher, and those papers came out of the mimeograph, and you would hold them up to your face to smell the ink. Do you remember that? And they were warm. Wasn't that the best? So I was thinking that I wanted to have one of those to send out, just to put, like, make a newsletter, if it comes to that. You remember the smell from the mimeograph machine? Like, you would always pull them out of the machine and carry them back to the classroom. I guess I was one of the good kids because I always got sent to go get things from the mimeograph. And you would hold them like this and go, all the way back to the classroom because they were warm. Do you remember that? And they had that smell. That was so I want a mimeograph machine. We might actually end up going back to that. Um, so yeah, I mean it's the smell of memories. Yeah, I mean they're trying to yeah they're trying to ban everything now. They're trying to cancel everything. They're trying to cancel Dr. Seuss now. You know, I mean it's okay to put Hunter Biden's like you know crazy sex pictures all over the internet and circulate tapes of him doing whatever. But Dr. Seuss is bad. Mr. Potato Head is bad. Bad, bad, bad. Very bad. It's just funny, you know? One of the things that Kat Kerr was telling us, um, one of the things Kat Kerr was telling us is just you just have to laugh at the devil because he has no power when you do that. And I mean, the things that they're doing is just ridiculous, you know? I mean, are they gonna ban Garfield the cat next? It's just crazy. Crazy. Um, yeah, or Cardi B's song. I mean, these people, I'll tell you, if it weren't for double standards, they'd have no standards at all. So, yeah. Anyway, so it's crazy. Hussein and Mike loved Dr. Seuss. I didn't know that. Yeah, we just have to laugh. Oh, so here's the latest. Here's the latest thing they've come up with is that now they want to punish the states that opened because of the virus that was gone a long time ago, the pandemic. Um, now they want to punish those states by withholding the stimulus money, which they still haven't sent out, for being reckless and endangering other states by opening. So Florida opened a long time ago. They haven't been overrun. People who went to Florida and came back are fine. And yet somehow it's a big problem. Do you remember when they told us 15 days to slow the spread? Now you're going to be punished and you're not going to get your stimulus check after they shut down your business and made you a criminal for wanting to make a living. Now they're going to make you a criminal and withhold the money because you're getting back to living. Does anybody else think that's just weird and wrong? I don't know. Yeah. And the governors that have opened up their states and repealed the mask mandates are not heroes. I just want to be clear about that. Why is that? Now, the governors that never shut down and never had these mask mandates, like Governor Nome of South Dakota, I think she's a hero because she followed the Constitution and let people think for themselves. Governor Abbott is not a hero for giving you back your constitutional rights that he had no right to take in the first place. Just keep that in mind. These people are not heroes. They're doing their job. That's what they're doing. They're literally doing their job. So before you throw down the palm leaves on the ground for your governor, just maybe remind him that that's his job. It's also his job to protect you from other tyrants that are going to trample on the Constitution. So he actually needs to be out there signing an executive order that nobody can make mask mandates and nobody can make it a condition of employment or commerce. That would be a hero, in my opinion. So, anyway, I just think it's kind of crazy. Yeah, it's like everybody has to mask up unless you're an illegal alien. I think I'm going to identify as an illegal alien from now on because because I wouldn't have to wear a mask. I wouldn't have to get a COVID test. I wouldn't have to prove anything to get free money from the government, and wouldn't have to work free housing, free job, um, get processed, through the border, just like Ellis Island. In you come, out you go. Yeah. Um, so it's crazy. HB3 is trying to be passed here in Texas, gives the governor the ability to run us over at all times. He can give mandates, but not block illegals coming in. Yeah, that's crazy. Illegal, you're undocumented. Now they want to change it to say that you're not an alien. Yes, you are. If you come into this country illegally and you're not a resident or a citizen, you're an alien. And you're illegal. So going back to the mask thing, let's just be real, guys. It's more dangerous to be obese and to have heart disease and diabetes than to walk around without a mask. That's more of a danger to you. And it's controllable. I mean, if they made us mask up for things that were actually a danger to us, then you would have to mask up for things like that. But telling somebody to mask up out of concern for others to protect them, it's sort of like telling somebody to put on a helmet because you might fall down. I'm afraid I might fall. You better wear a helmet. It's crazy. There's nothing logical. Nothing logical about it. So let me check my notes here. Oh, I have to give a shout out to the New York Public Library. Something good out of New York. They have announced that they will not remove the Dr. Seuss books from their shelves. They're not going to censor. So there you go. Isn't that great? Lynn on YouTube has a question. Did you see the video of the fake president going to go live on a TV station? He was snoring. He fell asleep. I didn't see that one. No, I saw the one where he was going to take questions and then he starts talking to whoever's in his ear and saying, is that what you want me to do, Nance? So I guess Nancy Pelosi's running the show. That's scary. That's creepy. Okay. Charles, I know you said you won't give a specific date and time. I respect that, but do you think DJT will be back in office before 2024? Yes, I do. Yes. Tell them you have got GIS, God's immune system. Yeah. I have CS, common sense. It's very rare. I have a rare condition that prevents me from wearing a face covering. Yeah, there's so much manipulation. Imagine if all football fans wore helmets. That's crazy. So much manipulation. I was out today walking with my dad. We took a little walk, and our neighborhood we live in the suburbs. There's nobody around, right? And so we were half a block from this other guy that was walking up the street. It's a wide street. He wasn't near us. He wasn't going to be near us. And he put his mask on when he was all the way at the bottom of the street to pass us. Pretty sad, pretty scary. But the cool thing is, when I was when I was with Kat Kerr, she was saying that she really that all of that the Rona is going to go away off the face of the earth. That's what God showed her, and that the trauma and the brainwashing is going to go. That it's not going to take years and years and years of therapy and deprogramming people, because we don't have time for that. God can heal people in a flash. And And people need to do soul cleansing too. You just need to get it out of your soul and replace it with just the love of God and the peace of God. So much of it is just manipulation. It's just horrible. Um, so, oh, I just insta blocked somebody on Periscope. I miss doing that. Um, they couldn't handle the humor. Insta block. I love it. Okay. Uh, yeah, it's crazy that people are falling for this, but it's just, it's manipulation, it's control, uh it's deception. Yeah, it's deception. It's the great deception. Yeah, because the great deceiver is behind it, the father of lies. That's it. That's why we're seeing this. So it doesn't surprise you. Millie, Periscope is not gone. It's going to go away at the end of uh, this month. And it's going to be Twitter Live. I think they're just folding it in, just like, Facebook has Facebook Live. I think they're just folding it in. So I'm trying to get my other account back because I have all my videos on there, right? Yeah, I know. Greg is over there. Greg Harvey's over there. And I think Miguelifornia is over there too. Dilly. Dilly's still on. So I think Anne gave up on Periscope a long time ago. All right. So let me just check notes here. Check it. So listen, I know that it's harder to find people these days, but you can find me on uh, marygracemedia.com. You can get on my mailing list if you go over there and wait for the little pop up and enter your information. And then you can also find me on my Telegram channel, which is Mary Grace Media Official. And I do post articles and things there, and sometimes I post little voice messages. So that's a good thing. And then you just have to load the Telegram app before you get on there and start looking. Um, but just make sure you help each other. Sometimes people write to me for help with stuff, and I get a little bit behind, and I can't always answer. But if you connect with each other and help each other, that would be really good. No, no listener left behind. Um, and then also make sure you send me a message, info@marygracemedia.com, if you want to get on superfoods. We have had just a tremendous outpouring of support there. We've had people who are getting on superfoods and having life changing experiences. I had a friend that I was just talking about today. She said that she's really suffered a lot from inflammation and weight gain over the years, and she's had problems with her thyroid. And she said, anytime she's ever gone on any weight loss program and she's tried to maintain it, it's just never maintained. And she said this is the first time. She did the transformation pack that we have, and then she went on the maintenance, and didn't gain a pound back. People lose inches too, which is fantastic. So if you want to get on superfoods, yes, Millie, get on your superfoods. You've sent so many people to me for superfoods. You should get your own referral code. Uh, so it's just so funny. But send me a message, info@marygracemedia.com, so that you can get your own voucher to save over $100 off the retail of a full 30-day supply. It's actually 60 meal replacements. And yeah, a lot of people are revisiting their health. That's a good way to say it, because you got to be healthy for what's coming. You got to be healthy for helping other people grow and learn uh, and be awake. You can't be awake if you have brain fog and you're you know badly overweight and you're suffering from inflammation and all kinds of conditions. A lot of people are really helped with this. I think it's interesting. People tell me that what we have is really it's nutrition and healing disguised as a weight loss program because people get so many benefits from it, right? Sometimes when people lose weight and they go on a weight loss plan, um, they just sort of they sort of get all um, haggard and run down, and they don't look that great, right? Because it's like they've been at war. Our superfoods are the opposite because it nourishes your body so well. And and so you actually are more vibrant and more awake, and you have less brain fog and less inflammation, and there's so many good things that come out of it. So that's why I talk about it all the time, because we're on a mission to make America healthy again. And so that's what the superfoods is. It's the best organic superfoods that you can get delivered right to your door, and you can get a voucher. So make sure you message me, info@marygracemedia.com. And those of you who are already using the superfoods, or even if you're not yet, if you're thinking about doing it, and if you're really happy with it and you want to get your own referral code and maybe, launch your own business, you can message me, because we're having a little Zoom talk tomorrow night about that, just to give you information about it. And you can send me a message, info@marygracemedia.com. That's going to be tomorrow night. We're having a special session with one of my business partners. So if you or somebody is looking, to launch a business, or if you want to get on your superfoods and get your own referral code and get all of your superfoods paid for with your commissions, you can send me a message. It's info@marygracemedia.com. Just make sure you're coachable so I can help you, because if you're not, it's not any fun. So just be aware of that. Info@marygracemedia.com. So we are having a session tomorrow night to show you guys how that works if you want to join. It's at 7 Eastern. And it'll be about, I don't know, 30 to 45 minutes. So definitely check in with me. Boy, I had forgotten how many trolls cruise through Periscope on a given day. Crazy. Crazy. Woo. Yeah, hit the thumbs up. Thank you to my moderators on YouTube. Hit the thumbs up on YouTube. Click the bell. Make sure you don't miss an episode. I'm going to be back Monday at 5:30 p.m. Eastern. I announced last week that I was going to be on at 5:30 these days. So 5:30 Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday. And so make sure you set a reminder. And I'm on Cloud Hub now. It does work great on the desktop. And here I am back on Periscope. So I'm on Cloud Hub channel 111, YouTube, Facebook, as long as I can stay on. If you're on Facebook and you're just coming in, please make sure you share this out into groups that you belong to. It makes a big difference. It is not as I'm not going as viral as I was, but we can change that. So we can break their algorithms, and at some point they're going to have to return it. Um, they're going to have to return it back to we the people, all of it, everything they've been doing. I was thinking about this today, because if you think about the food, like, do you remember growing up? Like, was talking about to a friend about this. Do you remember growing up, if you're my age or older, people weren't really overweight. Like, I didn't know anybody that was obese. Certainly not children. Did you notice that? And lately, it's a big problem. America is really, really unhealthy, and um, it's a problem. And the reason for that is because they have messed with the food supply. It's, if you have a distrust of the pharmaceutical industry, you should have a distrust of the food industry, of big ag, because the things that they're doing to your medicine, they're doing to your food. I hate to say that. Um, and one of the things that I was talking about today is, if you're on keto and you're eating a lot of meats and cheeses and dairy, uh, I would be very careful about that, because the food that they feed the beef cattle and the pigs and all of that, it's almost 100% grown using glyphosate Roundup, which is a carcinogen. Did you know that? So you're you're eating low carb, um, but you're actually ingesting very, very, very high levels of glyphosate. And our superfoods actually help reverse that. So you're getting super high quality protein, really clean food, but without the toxins because it's all organic. Selena on Facebook is asking about the superfoods. Yeah, so there are the proteins are amino acid. They come, it's like a little tablet, super easy to take and ingest. And then the shakes are a powder, but everything is live dehydrated. So it's a living molecule. It's really amazing. I mean, people if you if you've been watching Ann Vandersteel, she's been on the superfoods and she has more energy. It's crazy because it's live food. Um, Lynn, it's true food. It's living food, but it's live dehydrated, so we can send it to you. You know, it's like having like 6 superfood salads in one shake. But to answer that, Lynn, you're actually eating other food too. Yeah, superfoods really are life changing, aren't they? Everybody that I know who gets on these superfoods is, I mean, they keep telling me they're like, I'm never going to go back. It's a lifestyle. It really is. So, yeah, there's a lot of poor nutrition areas. How much protein is in the pills? Dino, that's a good question. I, I don't know right off the top of my hand, but it's a really good, very good, adequate protein supply. I do know that. People gain muscle with our superfoods. Our protein is actually used in hospitals with patients who are bedridden to prevent muscle wasting. Pretty good. So send me an email, info@marygracemedia.com, so that you can get more information. Because if you're eating, even if you think you're eating healthy, unless you're growing your own beef and you know for sure that it's 100% grass fed and finished, um, then the beef that you're eating is corn fed and the corn is laced with pesticides. Just FYI. And and it goes into their muscles. That's your keto diet. Yeah. So can we continue vitamins? You don't normally need to continue vitamins because the phytonutrients and the superfoods are going to make up it's actually way more effective than vitamins. That's a great question. Oh, you're going to try it on your dog. Yeah, we actually have superfoods for dogs, you guys, and kids. Um, Pretty amazing. It's really life-changing. So write to me, info@marygracemedia.com. Speaking of superfoods, I'm going to go have dinner. And that is one good thing about superfoods is you're not it's not just a liquid diet. You're eating, solid food too. I don't say real food because this is real food. Any chance for Sydney superfoods helping with kidney function? I would venture to say yes. I've actually heard people talk about that. I'm not a doctor, of course. I can't, you know, diagnose anything or give you medical advice, but I've heard some incredible stories about that. Yeah, because the protein doesn't process through your liver or kidneys, so it doesn't stress out your kidneys. Send me a message, Joyce, info@marygracemedia.com. That's a great question. All right, I will be back Monday at 5:30 Eastern. And if you missed my YouTube videos over the weekend, I was with Kat Kerr in Virginia. And there are 2 videos, one from Saturday night and one from Sunday morning. They're fantastic. So, yeah, um, just, uh, just make sure you watch those. So send me a message if you have questions about the superfoods. I'll send you a little explainer video. info@marygracemedia.com. You can get a voucher. You can save over $100 off of the retail of a full month's supply. And we have a money back guarantee, but nobody's ever returned it because everybody's so happy, including me. So I will be back. Have a great weekend, everybody, and join me in my Telegram, Mary Grace Media Official. Bye.